Hey guys, welcome back to Wise Up TV. This is my little review of the game against the Dolphins, and man, what a massive result! A time to be joyous as a fan, a time to celebrate the performance of some guys that stepped up, that were called up last minute, guys that weren't expected to play, but due to late injuries and late call ups, babies being born. We saw a performance that was all heart, all passion, and the boys were just committed. You know, just so awesome to see us perform with almost a New South Wales Cup team. Not to discredit or be disrespectful, but majority of that team, you know, wasn't the main starters, and we got the dub. So, man, I'm just elated. I'm pumped up. I hope you guys are too. But if you guys are here for the first time, please give us a like and subscribe to Wise Up TV for all your Warriors, New Zealand Warriors content. We appreciate you guys. Look, this game summed up, I think, for me, this game, in a way, was better than the Penrith game. It summed up everything I think that Webby's been building in this team. It's showing signs for me that what the philosophy and everything, the process, the progress, everything that he's implemented has trickled down even to the cup guys and all the development guys, and they're able to perform. I got to give credit to the Dolphins too. They're a good side. I thought Katoa was awesome. I thought he directed the ship. Jeremy Marshall King. For the majority, it was, you know, obviously a close contest. The outside backs were dangerous. You know, I thought it was a great game from both teams, but to see our guys come through and perform and deliver, I mean, I just am blown away. You know, firstly, want to acknowledge, you know, the guys. For me, Dallin was huge. I think he was so impactful, intentful. He brought the same energy that he does from the wing and brought it as a fullback, and was able to channel it, you know, his runs and energy and his speed more directly on the team. Had a greater impact from the wing position. You know, you have impact, but it's not as dominant as what the fullback can. And I thought his carries and runs were just so vital. You know, those returns from kicks, and keeping the energy moving and going. I thought he was just incredible. And then add to that Montoya, what a game from him. You know, to diffuse 5 or 6 bombs that were tricky. He was so calm under the high ball. You can tell he's come back from his cup experience, and he's really settled. Mentally, he looks confident. Defensively, I thought he's really sound in terms of. I think he saved one try from Isako, and he was holding just enough for Pompey, and then he released to his defender. You know, he's not doing unnecessary jamming. Sometimes they're being beat, obviously, and he has to come in. But for the majority, he's making really good, precise decisions, and he saved, I think, that try in particular. His work rate is so high. I mean, obviously, his carries on those second tackles is just so important. He goes at the line with all heart. And he's just had a good run of consistency, and I'm hoping that he just carries that for the rest of the season, because that's what we need to be able to continue to compete. We need our back five in particular to just be rock solid. I thought Pompey had a great game. The goal kicking was the difference in many cases. He nailed that part of the game that can be tricky. There were kind of kicks as well that were in tricky spots that you could usually miss, but he nailed them. Defensively, I thought he had Avarillo in a bag. And sometimes they got caught out on that side, but for the majority, I thought he was really, really good. Kossi, for me, just a few errors, but I think he's just in a state of his game at the moment that give him more time to develop. But that second half from him was class too. He showed his power and his running ability. There was some good little last-minute reads. I think he forced Farmworth inside or whatever, and then Moala Graham saved the try. So, you know, to work on a edge with maybe someone you're not so familiar with. Yeah, I think just tidying up his game. He's obviously in that stage where he's trying to build confidence and trying to get himself healthy. He doesn't look quite healthy yet for me. whether he's holding a niggle. Obviously, some guys are, or most majority guys are, but I feel that's impacting him a little bit. But he'll come right for me. But Telfer Graham, how good was he? Kept it simple. Was efficient in his carries. He was very, I thought he was good in defense as well. Made his reads, did all the little things right for me. So I was really got to give a lot of praise for him. Fourth or fifth string center, and to come in and do a job like that. And last minute too, we understand Chance was going to be that right center, and he might have got the call up the day of and said, "Hey, you're up today," and he was more than willing to fill in. So I've got to give a lot of credit to these guys. The halves for me were just so good. Starting with Tamaiti, how impactful was he? Ball playing, the kicking, those repeat sets for kicks, the grubbers, the timings of the kicks. The weight on the kicks were really good. I mean, he could have potentially got a try at the end of the first half from the kick to Montoya. It felt like he could have had a check with the bunker. So the weighting and the timing of his kicks. He got one wrong where I think he panicked a little bit. But apart from that, he was so calm. You could tell his confidence is up. He was directing things really, really well. And then adding into that, CHT was so well balanced as well. That left-sided kick, it's so nice to see that balance. And they shared a lot of the kicking load together, which I think is very effective. And it allows your defense to set up their defense on the left side sometimes and on the right side. So it keeps both teams really well balanced. Scored a try. Support play was really good from CHT, and that's what we need. And then defensively, he's very good at checking and sliding. I think he's going to be, depending on how we use him, I think he'll be effective, and definitely going to be using him moving forward. So hopefully he stays healthy. But it was just great to see him back. And working with someone like Tamaiti, they looked really well. They looked really controlled, composed, and ultimately got the result. So proud of them. The front row, I thought, did a really good job. I mean, the starters were Morata and Bunty. I think Bunty showed his value yesterday, especially in that second stint. He gave more. I felt like he lifted. He was able to lift the team energy-wise. He lifted them in his example. So I was really impressed with a lot of his carries, and I think especially against a Dolphins pack, he was able to match it with them physically. I was happy that he stopped the play on that break, and he ended up with the ball, and he kind of settled things down. I thought that was really smart. And then just his overall defense and those things, I think he's really good. Morata had a good first stint in the middle, and him and kind of Ford chopped and swapped around, I think, for after the 20 minutes, and then Ford played middle forward, and he was good too, man. I got to give a big shout out to Ford. He was just that glue guy, holding things together when things broke down. He'd make a covering tackle. Just a really impressive. But Morata, for me, those damaging runs that he has, especially on the fourth tackle or the try that he got, was just great to see our back rowers get over the line. A tough run, one-on-one, break the tackle, and push through and power through. And that's what we want. If you're going to get a one-on-one with the half, that's what we want you to be able to do. So that was beautiful seeing Morata, and he looks good. Dylan Walker, for me, is that glue guy. He's so important to the team. I think he's showing more value now that he's been playing as a starting lock, and he's been able to direct the team in the way he sees it. I think he's been pretty patient on the ball, very direct. I think that Tamaiti's benefited from him. I think that the defensive line becomes a bit more passive. You don't see as much jamming from the halves or the edges a bit. I think we've been able to really get at the line physically, and he's been able to distribute and find the right balance between Tamaiti and CHT. Again, the same result as what it was last week. I think there's something to it. Be interested to see what Webby does with Walker and Tohu and how that is balanced out. I don't think Walker can do this for the rest of the season, playing this volume of minutes, but I think finding a balancing act between him and Tohu moving forward will ultimately, I think, is most important. But yeah, he's been absolutely awesome. Feel for Paulie Roach. he was looking good. He had a nice little run out of dummy half. He's going to be a good player, I think, in the future. Hopefully, he stays healthy. Hopefully, it wasn't a big injury. I'm not sure what it was, but I hope he can stay healthy for me. And yeah, I think Lussick came on and did a good job. I know people were talking about his passing range and slowness of the pass, but he was very good with his passes, finding their targets. I like the little play with him, with Dallin to score that try. I thought that was really important. Played his part in it in terms of drawing the markers out and that type of thing. So, yeah, I think he did a good job. But Paulie will hopefully see him back in the starting side at some stage, and hopefully it's not a massive injury. Tom Alia for me is looking good. He's looking like he's going to continue to grow. I think definitely a player that the club needs to invest in, but also over time he will develop even to a better player. He looked damaging when he came on. He looked like he was going to break the game open. Didn't quite happen, but showing signs that he's going to burst out soon. So I like that. Jazz, what an impact he's making. He's so direct. He looks very healthy too. For me, just his movement. He's got that little hidden spin, but overall he's moving really well. And then Laban as well. I thought he was good, and I think for a guy like Laban, this is just great experience for him just to be around quality players, like working with Barnett, other great players, and just seeing how to play in first grade, what it requires. And even if he drops out, to say if the starters come back, that experience will do wonders for him, and he'll find his place in the team, I think, moving forward at some stage. So I think overall it was a great performance. They were patient. I think we had to really work hard for that win. I think when the Dolphins got up 10-0, it felt it was quite difficult, but we got that first try. I thought that kind of got us into the game. And then the second try, the third try to the Dolphins, when that hammer scored, we fought back again for another try. Tamaiti just fought for that one. It was all energy and effort, and great for him to get the results that he is on the field, because with Sean, it hasn't looked the greatest, let's be honest. And maybe that's a question moving forward, who works best with Sean. But as a 7, playing off of Dylan Walker, he's looked really good and showed his quality that we haven't been able to see in a Sean dominant attack. He's shown quality that, wow, he can kick the ball well. His passing game, his playing at the line is really sharp. He's very effective at what he does. So I think he's a value player that I would like to keep around. If you think about him, he's probably coming into those sweet years of where Sean is at the moment, but maybe in a year or two, if he stays healthy, he can be that type of a player that you can invest in. And he's getting that experience. And even though he's missed NRL for quite a few years because of his injury, I think he'll round out to even more experienced player over time. So I'd love to keep him around the club. I'm not sure what his contract situation is, but definitely from what I've seen the last 2 weeks, it's a guy that you could invest in to an extent. But yeah, for me, it's whoever moving forward. Obviously, Sean's going to be the main guy, but the big question is, does he fit with Sean? So that's something to think about. And who is the best fit? That for me is more important than him playing, is really who fits well and the Sean, and making sure that it's even more balanced attack than what it's been. I'm hoping that we'll see a more evenly balanced attack because we can do it. It's been proven now with the likes of Dylan Walker, CHT, CNK, and Tamaiti that you can have a balanced left and right attack. So I'm looking forward to that. But Webby, it just shows his class, his way to motivate the investment into the development players to get everyone up to speed. Same systems through all the grades. It just shows that it's a club that's in a good spot. We needed those points today, and we needed the points against Penrith. We weren't expecting them, but we'll take those 4 points plus the 2 if the bye, 6 points. Carry that into the back end of the season. You know, this is kind of where we're going to make a run here. We're going to have to really own each performance. We're going to have to be clinical, more clinical than what we are. We're still having some goal line lapses. We're not a perfect team defensively. I think there's moments in that game where we lost our shape. We got exposed at times, but at the same time, we're showing some signs of quality that we are improving. So it's going to be an interesting time moving forward. But honestly, couldn't be proud of that. That for me was one of the best games. We saw the heart and soul for me of the club through the players. They dug deep and they showed to me that they want to fight to win. They're competitors. They want to fight for the badge for the team, and especially for Webby. And actually, I forgot. I think Barnett was massive, and congratulations to him on that Blues. Hopefully, he gets a debut. But apart from that, he's been all class. I thought he was good as a captain as well. So yeah, don't want to forget Barney, but he's been massive for us this year. He's led from the front. He's been really consistent, and like he mentioned it himself, that he's changed as a player. He's not that loose cannon that he was at the Knights. He's really tidied up his game, and without him, we would be struggling even more. But he's been great leading from the front, and his work rate and even on the edge has been damaging. So it's exciting. Can't wait for this back in the season. The first part of the season has been tough, apart from these last 2 games. So a lot to take from it. But guys, yeah, that's my little review of the game. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are here still, please give us a like and a subscribe if you are here for the first time. But enjoy your week off. Yeah, and stay safe. Up the wires. Peace.